G'day, everyone. Whoever's around, I suppose. I'm just going to wait for everyone to turn up before I start talking, as I usually do. Do-do-do. And we've done that one. Save changes, yes. Thursday afternoon for me. Again, this week's gone way too quick. I don't know what's going on with time at the moment, but it seems I just wake up on Sunday and next thing it's Friday again. I am going to go bush this weekend and I don't care what anyone says. Again, I was waiting for I don't know what that is. I've got a big white blob. That's weird. Anyway, a minute in and I've said basically nothing yet. So let's talk. So what's happening in this world? Well, clearly, the world's gone flaming insane again. So I'd imagine fuel prices will go up very, very shortly, and no one seems to care. And no one seems to be in the mood to stop it, and no one seems to be in the mood to basically say anything. And I used to think that hopefully when the time came there'd be a few good men or women that would say enough, but clearly not, because clearly what's happening is there's way too much greed, way too much. G'day Kendall, how you doing? Sorry, I'm just rambling, so I apologise. Again, I was waiting for Marfegal News and TV, but it seems to be all over the shop since it all happened, and it's not really starting on time anymore. And I was kind of hoping that would actually come on first, and then I would do a live afterwards, but clearly not. I did speak to Chance this morning and he said just go live, so that's what I'm doing. The world's gone nuts. I don't know. I don't know that anyone cares anymore about what happens with all this. It's kind of exceedingly disappointing to a certain extent. Russia doesn't seem to have slowed down. Iran is basically back on the table again, and God knows where that'll end up, but clearly, I think it's kind of getting to the point where it's safe to assume that they honestly don't care about us anymore, because no one's willing to back down, and no one's willing to. It was a dummy picture. Dummy posted a. What the hell? What the hell is that all about? Posted my picture on social media. People rate me and have a bunch of men trying to contact me. Okay. What the fuck? God. I don't know, mate. I really don't know, Kendall. I don't know what to say. What made you do it in the first place? I'm being completely... Was it just as a joke or something, or is that what you thought it was going to be, or? Because unfortunately, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Just to get female attention. Look, one thing you have to learn these days, and I'm being really, really honest. And I mean, I opened myself up as soon as I came on this, and I still to this day, I thought I had something to say, and honestly, I sort of look at, I don't know, yeah, I get it, and look, it's, getting female attention is actually a topic that I've wanted to talk about, and I don't know how to raise it, because I don't want to sound crazy or anything like that. I don't think I am. I mean, I've been on my own for at least 3 years, and I know how hard it is. I really do. I'm not silly. I know that, you know, and especially considering what's going on, and it plays on my mind quite a lot, just in regards to, you know, what we're about to walk into, and honestly, with the way the world's freaking going, it would be desperately nice to have a partner to go into it with, and it's kind of one of these things that you kind of don't want to end up with the wrong person either. Maybe that'll be the topic of today's thing, is relationships, and how I've utterly failed in that regard. I would dearly love to be with someone. Don't get me wrong. I would. I think I've got a reasonable amount to offer, and I think most guys would probably say the same about themselves. You know, but in saying that, you've got to be so careful, and I've spoken to a few guys about this, just on YouTube and that sort of thing. Hello, Tammy, how are you? It's hard at the moment, like really, really, really hard to date. And okay, I've put myself in a location where that's not likely to happen. I've had females just tell me flat out there's no way in hell they would ever drive to where I am. You know, it's they kind of want me to basically drop everything and come to them instead, and it's like, it's taken me a long time, like even just to actually make a decision to buy a house on my own is huge. I don't deny that even one little bit. And I know at at my age, I've got no hope of ever starting this again. If I go through a relationship right now and it's similar to all the other ones, I've got the possibility of losing everything, and I utterly fight with myself most days to understand how I got here. You know, what put me here. I know what put me here. You know, and it's and then around about about 3 years ago, I suppose now, I came to the conclusion that it wasn't going to happen. And so I started doing it just for me, because I was kind of over trying to form something where you could be a partnership and basically try and do something that that would benefit not just us two, but you know, a few others as well. And it kind of blew my trust completely. I lost my trust completely. You know, because there was just I was yet to actually meet anyone who wasn't in it for themselves in some way or another. You know, whether it be, I don't know, and I don't really want to get into it too much, because there are ladies who come onto this channel, and I don't want to sort of just tidy everyone up into the same bucket, because that's not fair. You know, because there are probably good people in the world. So, you know, but it was one of those sort of situations where I just made the decision in the end that I wasn't going to be bothered looking. I couldn't do it anymore. Honestly, I couldn't do it anymore. And I figured, you know what? I'm not chasing either. You know, people know where I am. People in the real world know where I am. And if they're interested, hell, ring me. I'll pick you up from the airport. No problems at all. You know, if you genuinely want to see what the go is, then for once, chase me. You know, if that's what you want, I'm right here. I'm available. Yes, but I'm not chasing anymore, because it just doesn't work. You're almost forcing somebody into doing something they don't actually want to do. And the sad part is, with relationships these days, that's the way everyone seems to want to go. You know, they are almost looking to walk into a new relationship with like a I don't know, a checklist to a certain extent. And if you don't fulfill that checklist, then, you know, they end up buggering off. But they don't just bugger off, they take half of what you've got as well at the same time. You know, and it's like, I don't want to do that shit anymore. I don't want to play that game anymore. Sorry. You know, I'm not interested. Seriously. If that's the game we want to play, and like I've said to a few people, you know, all I want is for people to actually freaking tell the truth right from the very start. Because if you're going to muck around, that's just going to piss me off. So, look, I get it. I get that you're trying to put yourself out there. The other thing I will say is, I think a lot of people, and me in particular, because I'm not the same as everyone else, I don't think, It may seem that way, but in reality, I'm not. You know, I have certain beliefs that I won't go into, and I do try and keep a lot of things private as well, because it'd be very easy to basically sit on this channel and tell you every bit of private information that I feel, that I go through every day, etc., etc. That'd be too easy. But I'm not going to do that. You know, there are times when I feel utterly miserable, where I feel completely alone. You know, where, you know, I don't take it out through drugs or alcohol or anything like that, you know, but there are moments where I go through that, and I'm human at the end of the day. You know, we all go through it. You know, I mean, I think I don't know. I can't, the only thing I would suggest is that you, as much as you can, you need to keep things private. And look, I mean, I've tried dating sites. That was pointless. You know, I've tried all these things, and most of them are completely pointless. You know, I go out bush and I scream blue murder to every kangaroo that's within cooey, and I release it all. That's how I deal with it. I basically go out there and scream and dance and do all this dumb shit where nobody can see me. Because basically it's the only way I can release pent-up tension to a certain extent. And I think, you know, and you ask some of the most deepest questions, and I've said this a number of times, you know, you keep asking the same questions over and over and over again, and you've got to sort of understand what's the actual answer that you're getting back. Is it the answer you want to hear, or is it the answer you don't want to hear, but you need to hear it? You know, it's got to be something that, you know, and the more times you ask it, the more deeper the questions get. So I don't know. I get it, Kendall. I do. I understand it perfectly well. But I would be very, very careful about, you know, doing things like that. I you know, my photos on dating sites, you know, I'm on live, I'm more exposed than most people, I suppose. Keep as much as you can secret, because you just, and especially these days, because there's so many broken people out there. Most of them take their anger and frustration and all that sort of stuff out online, and as soon as you go online, you just open yourself up to it. And if you're not prepared for the response, don't do it, is my only advice, because it's just not worth it. It really isn't. You know, there's other ways you can do it, and it doesn't include drinking alcohol. It doesn't include drugs. It doesn't, you know, it can be just find somewhere in the middle of bloody nowhere where you can scream blue murder, and scream it and scream it and scream it until you bloody cry, and then scream again, and then go out there and do it again, and keep doing it, because, you know, it just gets rid of it all, because otherwise most people end up just simply exploding, because you can't hold it in, and it's bloody annoying. It's the most frustrating thing to actually go through. It really is. I don't think as humans we're meant to be alone. We're not. you know, and it's really, really hard to watch others who are just so happy, you know. I mean, we turn on our social media and there's a couple, having fun, and we're thinking, well, why can't we have something like that? And it's just slammed into you every moment of every day. You see the ads. It's always a guy and a girl. And something in the back of your mind, especially when you're single, and especially when you've been single for so long, goes, why can't I have that? It's a natural position to be in. Look, so am I. Like I said, I made the decision, 3 years ago when I thought that was it in a bit. It was a great relationship. There was probably a lot of things that maybe I should have seen, I don't know. But we got along like a house on fire, and then it just stopped. She wanted to start sleeping with somebody else, and told that straight to my face. So, and I'd been getting prepared for all of us, and then that. And it took me a long time to get over it, like a hell of a long time to get over it. And then one day I thought, well, screw this for a joke. I'm just going to do it on my own. I don't care anymore about anybody else. And it really hit like that. So I just threw all my energy into basically getting ready for whatever's coming on my own, because I was sick to death of being frickin' lied to and frickin' deceived and bloody, told wonderful things with a happy face on, knowing full well it was all bullshit. And it's like, you can only go through that sort of shit for the same thing for a certain period of time, before you crack, and before you say, well, fuck everyone else. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start looking after myself from now on, and screw everyone else. If you want me, come to me. Okay? I'm more than happy to start something. That's fine. But if you can't be bothered and you're going to play games, then see you later. Bye. It's not on. And it just happens over and over and over again. And we've talked about it a number of times, but, it seems like these days, the generation that's currently going through, they'll quite happily go out and cheat. That's not who I am. Once I'm in a relationship, that's it. That's it and a bit. There is no one else. But these days it's like, we'll just go out and cheat. And, I watch Farmer Wants a Wife. It's a reality show. And a lot of these reality shows these days push cheating every 5 seconds. It's like The Bachelor. I mean, how many girls can you kiss and get emotionally attached to in one flaming episode before someone goes, that's cheating. You either go out with someone, but you don't start screwing around, or you don't kiss, right? You don't get emotionally attached. Simple as that. You get to know someone, fine, that's okay. I don't know how many dates it is before you become monogamous. But, you don't just jump into bed with everyone. I mean, that's not what you do. That is not how you start a relationship. Whatever happened to getting to know someone, whatever happened to actually dating someone, calling them up, talking for hours and hours and hours, seeing becoming, I don't want to say becoming friends before you become something else, but there's none of that anymore. It's like, you know, girls are wondering what's wrong with you after you haven't slept them on the first date. What the fuck? Like, seriously. What the hell? I mean, I'm a guy. I've got needs. Don't get me wrong. And I'm sure girls have their needs as well. But, if you're going to look at sort of actually dating someone who ends up, and these days in Australia, you only have to live under the same roof for 3 months. You don't have to be married. You don't have to be, they get half. If they leave, they get half. That's the way it works. 3 months. 3 months is not bloody long enough to get to know someone. Not even close. 3 months and they get half of everything. I'm sorry, that's wrong. It's just so incredibly wrong these days. You got to figure out who's a psychopath. These days they're bloody everywhere. Seriously. And do you blame them? Do you blame people from being psychopaths these days? I don't, personally. It's with what we've got to go through these days, like with fuel prices, with food prices, with all these other prices, increases, and then God help you if the girl's got a child or two, we've spoken about that enough. I don't know how the hell they survive. I really don't know. But the fact of the matter is that, it's no wonder they're nuts. We look at them and go nuts. I don't know how the hell they survive. And so, and whether it's a guy or a girl, it doesn't matter. They've all got so much going on in their heads, and we all do, that to try and turn around and start dating, it's all, the honeymoon period, you ignore just about every red flag there is possible to sort of see, because they hide it so well. So 3 months is not long enough to get to know someone. And they certainly shouldn't be moving to your house after the first date or the second date. That's not on. It's dating these days is bloody hard, like impossible, I would say. We talk about what jobs are going to be available, but I swear to God, man, their dating puts it all to shame. It really does. They all seem to want someone who's wealthier than, I'm only talking from a guy's point of view, but they all seem to want someone who's wealthier than they are, who can look after them, who can look after the kids and their mortgages so that they can go out and do stuff, and it's like, the guys are struggling just as hard as it is, and I'm sure it's the same from the other point, I can only talk about it because I'm a bloke. It's, and so you start to realise that rather than even bothering, and trust me, like I said, I've got needs, but I'm not just going to run off to someone and pay someone for that need to be satisfied. That's not what I want either. I don't get anything out of it. I'm sorry, I don't. And most it's I want to be able to wake up with someone, simple as that. I'm exceedingly probably in that way old-fashioned. I'm not paying someone for an hour. I'm not paying someone for 2 hours. I don't have the sort of money, and I don't really want to be putting that much of my personal sort of feelings towards someone when it's just being, it's cheap, it's nasty, and it just leaves you feeling bloody sick Hello, Aliyah. Sorry, probably not having the conversation. But, that's just me. So, yeah, I made the decision to basically go, well, fine, I'll just do it on my own and be done with it. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's just the way life is in my little life. So, but it's taken me a long time to get to this point as well. It's certainly not an easy journey at all. And there's basically plenty of things that I've gone out there and tried, in terms of trying to keep my mind occupied. But I'm not just going to, I've got my own morals. That's as simple as that. And I'm sticking to them. I'm not losing my morals because I'm desperate, if that makes sense. That's just not going to happen. I don't know. Yeah, look, Kendall, don't. Just don't. Stick to your morals. Stick to your goals. And honestly, instead of trying to imagine a life with someone sharing it, start, and as silly as it is, start thinking of for yourself only. What do I need? Where do I see myself in 10 years' time if there's no one there? What am I doing for my job? What am I doing for my life? Start looking at your life as being your life, not shared with someone else, because it's not bloody easy, and it's not going to get any easier either. But you can turn your life around. You can make your life into whatever you want it to be, but it's going to take time. And if something happens in the meantime, bloody fantastic. No, none of us want to die alone, but you know what? Look at your life, look at your finances. Sit down one night and just go through absolutely everything in your life and go, this is my life. This is who I am. And do it that way. You'll be long gone, Chance. You're 83, so you'll be dead and buried before we ever are, mate. So it's going to take a lot, mate. It really is. It's not something you can simply. It's not. You've got to be ready to do it as well. You've got to be in that mindset that goes, if it hasn't worked out so far, well, it will. It will eventually. And you know what? I'm not going to say it, but I'm going to tell you. Forget about that bloody old rule that says, oh, don't worry about it. There's plenty of fish in the sea, because the next person who says that is not going to have a very good day. Because that sort of shit is not on. That's only said by people who are actually in a relationship. So, but anyway, I hope that kind of helps. It probably doesn't. I can only tell you what I'm going through. So, and it's taken a bloody long time. Yeah, honestly, it's the worst saying that anyone ever came up with. Seriously, it really is. It was said by someone who was in a relationship at the time. So, it's bullshit. But there you go. Golly gosh, there's a lot of people here. It's wonderful to see everyone. JPass, Chance, Kendall, Aliyah, Tammy. Who else is here? This is cool. Sorry, we're all waiting for Marfugal, aren't we? I don't know what... He's sort of... Nope. And... Nope. He still hasn't come on, so I can say that. I ended up with an electric eel. Haven't we all? Sharks, electric eels, what is it? The killer whales. I mean, you name it. They're all out there. It ain't just clownfish and oh, pretty fish. No, there's plenty of them, but there's also the sharks and the crabs and the, you know, I mean, it has to be a balance of some sort at some point, doesn't it? Bish fish, yeah, I know what you mean by that too. Oh, look, you know, it is what it is. No, not British, Chance, not British. I'm sure there's a lot of lovely British people out there. But they're all in Britain, so, you know, it doesn't really help anyone. Oh, golly gosh. Yeah. Oh, you are right. I got that wrong. Terribly sorry. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, I did... You went fishing today. I hope you caught something. And I hope it wasn't 5'8". Oh, golly gosh. Son just asked him to pull... Why are you pulling out all your kids' teeth, Lee? Didn't you only pull his tooth out the other day? He's going to have no tooth left soon. Bluegill. I don't know what a bluegill is. Never mind, he changed his mind. I mean, at least he's that age where they'll actually grow back again. But, I mean, you know, you only really get 2. So, you know, if it hurts that much, I don't know, brush your teeth. Perch. Yeah, because some of these people sit on a perch, don't they? And they tell you exactly what to do and when not to do it. And you kind of wonder whether you're living with your mum after that. He said he'll wiggle it out on his own. Yeah. Is he after more pocket money or something, is he? Because kids suddenly get these ideas that the tooth fairy brings some money, so therefore if they get some of these teeth to fall out, they'll earn more money. I'm going to be rich. No, you're just going to end up with no teeth. Oh, dear. Son's tooth. With the 4-wheeler, oh my God. That's a bit extreme. Oh, okay. So they don't... There is no Santa, Tooth Fairy or Easter Bunny. Yeah, that's all right. Toothless and rich. Yeah, you're never going to get rich off 20 cents, I suppose, where you used to get paid as a kid, which is, what's that, a quarter, I suppose, for you guys? Oh, that's a fifth, I don't know. Don't tell me that. Okay, everyone suddenly thought of a get rich quick. They're going to pull out all their teeth and hope the tooth fairy turns up. No, there's no Santa, unfortunately, no. Some parents used to go out and buy two presents for their kids, one from them and one from Santa. You know, it's the whole I Saw Mummy Kissing Santa Claus song, you know, it'll either ruin a kid or it'll be... That's the truth, sorry. Santa's just daddy in a red suit and mummy kind of likes it. I don't know. I'll just show up with other people's teeth. Just go to a retirement home, JPass, you'll be fine. There's plenty of teeth in little glasses. No, we just want to watch Jamie Bond again. Leprechauns are real. Yes, they are. They ride horses on a weekend down at the track. We call them jockeys, but they're actually called leprechauns because they're really, really short and they talk with funny voices. And some of them are Irish even. Bigfoot is real? Yeah. I don't know. It is Bigfoot real? Or is it some guy dressed up in a King Kong outfit? I don't know. There is some weird noises that come out. Fairies are real. Fairies are real. They're called drag queens. Yeah, they are. Yeah, I don't know about Bigfoot. I know there's a lot of, I mean, these days with infrared and, and all these other things, it's kind of hard to hide these days. And I'm pretty sure none of them go down to the local hardware store or camping store and buy a survival blanket and hide underneath that, because that actually stops infrared from seeing through. Did you know that? Survival blankets, those, you get them in like a little packet about that big, and they're silver, and then you pull them out and you wrap it around you and it keeps the warmth in. Well, what it does is if you actually hide it, basically if someone's using infrared goggles or thermal goggles, it can't see through it. So it's just the same colour as everything else in the bush at night. I've seen all the Bigfoot videos. Yeah, I've seen the Bigfoot the hunters that go out and look for Bigfoot. There's certainly a lot of paw prints out there, I suppose you'd call them. I do know there's giants. There were giants pretty much in Iraq, up in the mountains. There's been giants. Yeah, the Mothman was a funny one. But I don't know. It's one of those things. I don't know. No one's actually said where Bigfoot would actually. Okay, so if it's not a human, but it walks like one, they're apparently a lot taller than what a standard human is. So where would they have actually come from? Like, what would be their origin story? Because no one talks about the origin story of them. They only talk about, Bigfoot's kind of out there. I don't know. Nephilim, yeah. There's a lot of that in the Bible. I tend to believe that. That's the other way it's been put in. And it's a bit like that farm, and I can never remember what the farm is, where they've got a pile of things that seem to come through, I don't know, gaps in our reality, and they come from some other dimension, and they're all turning up on this one particular farm, and they ended up turning it into like a TV series where they put all these cameras, and the cameras were being electrically played around with, and there was a whole lot of weird stuff happening. So yeah, there's a farm in the US. The Bible talks a lot about UFOs and things like that. It's all the way through it, realistically. The other one we've got in Australia is I think the jaguar, like the actual cat animal, like a black jaguar sort of animal, and I think they've seen them in the UK as well. But yeah, they seem to get them around Victoria / New South Wales. They get photographed every now and again. God knows where they're coming from, so, you know, it looks like an animal that's escaped from a zoo, but apparently it's not. So, yeah. No, definitely not. No, people aren't crazy. It's the one thing that always worried me, was a dog attack or something like that. You know, what the hell do you do if a dog attacks? You know, I don't think many of us have got much hope. There is a video of a guy who's walking down a street at night and a bunch of dogs attacks, and he somehow grabs the tail of this dog and swings it around in a 360, and it scares them all so much that they all bugger off. But good luck catching a dog by its tail when it's really, really pissed off at you, because those things will just rip you apart if they go nuts. And, you know, it's sort of been talked about, you know, if something... the only thing you can do is to basically wrap your arm, stop the blood flow, and then get to a hospital ASAP. King Browns or Taipans, they do have the anti-venom for them. You very rarely... I mean, snake bite deaths in Australia is actually incredibly low. Like really, really low. I think there's people that basically die of shark attacks that outnumber people who die of snake attacks in Australia. So, you know, but dogs are just something else. They can be your best friend 1 second and then they can be eating your head off the next. So I don't know. That'd freak me right out. You know, and especially if you're out bush, you know, and there's wild dogs out there. You want to be nicking them off before they even get anywhere near you, because once they're within 50 metres, you're done. You're completely done. Hey, Optical, how are you? So yeah, it's kind of a cane corso. I'm assuming that's a dog. Yeah. The supernatural stuff, I don't know. I've looked into... See, I was into aliens. I was into the face on Mars. I was into, you know, the moon landings and all that sort of stuff years and years and years ago. You know, because the face on Mars was an interesting one. Because that was photographed by the Voyager spacecraft on its original mission around the universe, and it's still going to this day. And it photographed an area of Mars called the Cydonia region, and picked up what was clearly a face. But see, funnily enough, everyone knows the face on Mars. What a lot of people don't realise is the fact that between the face, there's actually a road that actually goes straight out. And on the side of the road are like pyramid structures. And right at the end of the road, there's another bunch of pyramids and square, what NASA call rock formations. But they're perfectly rectangle. They look like buildings. But you never see that. And then NASA then sent a spacecraft back many years later and said, see, it's not a face, and it didn't look anything like a face. And it was like, and they haven't photographed anything from there since. They ignored the buildings. They ignored everything else. And it was like, and you haven't been back? I mean, it was clearly a road. There's this dead straight road. And it goes for like 5 kilometres. It goes for quite a distance. And there's clearly buildings on the side of it. And it's like, I don't know, maybe send a rover there. Just check it out. I don't know. I would. I mean, let's face it, they're using Americans' taxpayer dollars. Why don't they Why don't people just jump up and down and say, forget about looking for life in some weird-ass crater on the other side. Send it there instead. If you find nothing, so be it. You're wasting billions of dollars anyway, so you may as well waste it there. Just my opinion, of course. But, yeah, what does NASA stand for? And it ain't National Aeronautic Space Administration. Never a straight answer, I think it was. Yeah, that's, I think the asteroid belt is the leftover remnants of the solar system. The bits that didn't stick together and form planets. Either that or, as I said in yesterday's thing with Chance's show, possibly bits of Theia that are just still floating around. Yeah, I don't know. Not what the government thinks. Yeah, I know. Look, I don't trust too much of what comes out of the government. I really don't. Not anymore, and it's getting worse. Because it's very clearly a situation that if you haven't realised it now, we're screwed. And so I would be doing something that seriously makes your life a hell of a lot better. And supposedly, government things. I know someone. Kendall's one of the what is it? The X-Files. X-Files. That was a good song. Good series too. Mulder and Scully. You know the cigarette man, don't you, Kendall? The smoking man. I've got some secrets. Don't tell anyone. Intelligence agency that shares some SCI. Secret crap info? I don't know. What's SCI? I wish I had an intelligence agency. You've got a Ringo. That's your intelligence agency. Oh dear. Yeah, I don't have an intelligence agency either. See? Nothing going on in here. Secret compartmentalized information. Ooh. That sounds like fun. Well, it's a bit like, who was it? There was John Bell? What was his name? There was a guy who, Lear. What was his name? John Lear. Was good friends with, now my head's just gone completely blank. John Lear. Area 51. Let's have a look. There we go, Bob Lazar. John Lear used to be really good friends with Bob Lazar. And John Lear was the guy that actually did the whole Learjet. And he was a aviator, CIA pilot. And they happened to be doing an air show at some point, and John Lear was there, and then somebody said, where's all the good stuff? Like, I've seen all this shit before. Like, you're not showing anything that's even vaguely interesting. And so they took him into this separate hangar. Nobody is, Kendall. Oh my Lord. No. Yeah, so they took him into this rectal cranial agency. They're called aliens, JPass. You know, it's like, did you ever see that movie? God, why is my head just not working? Alien. I'm going to have to go and find it now. Oh my God, it was the funniest movie I've ever seen about aliens. And he, yeah, give me five seconds because I'm never going to find it. I know I've got the DVD. I know it's back to front. You ever want to watch a movie about aliens that'll have you wetting in laughter? Watch this. Paul. It is the funniest thing that you will see for a long time. And he goes, rectal exams, what do you think? Every alien, you reckon, wants to stick something up someone's bum? He said, what can you learn from a bum? And guys, and Simon Pegg's sitting there going, yeah, probably. I get that. Yeah. It's like, meanwhile, the other guy's fainted and pissed his pants, you know. It's like, he's going, alien. And yet for everything up to that point, he'd be going, you know, they're photographing the black letterbox and they're photographing the Area 51, and then he finally comes across an alien, and what's the first thing he does? Faints. And then pisses his pants. It's like, oh, God. I love this movie. That's why I ended up buying it on DVD, because every now and again I'll just play it if I want to just sit there and piss myself laughing for no other reason. It's just funny. Oh, there's so many one-liners out of it, seriously. It's just great. All you can see is oh my God. If you watch this and you were high, it'd be like, I can't even imagine. But yeah, it's just an awesome movie, seriously. It was one of those movies that just came out of the middle of nowhere, and it was like everyone just went and watched it and just absolutely laughed their heads off. It was a bit like that movie with where all the food comes alive, you know, something about sausages, and all the food in the supermarket is actually alive, and they just all really want to be put in the basket so they can be taken off and loved, and, you know, so they're together, and, you know, and all the rest of it. And then they find out that then two of them escape and see what happens in the kitchen. It's like, oh God. And you're just sitting there just cracking up laughing. It's like, you know, she's sitting there chopping carrots and it's going, Sausage Party, yes, that's the one. I knew it had something to do with sausages. I think it was because the hot dogs and the buns were in two separate packages, and a sausage was in love with the bun, but they couldn't actually meet until somebody bought both of them and opened up the package, and then they could finally be together. Oh, golly gosh. That just had me cracking up laughing, seriously. And then I saw it on YouTube a couple of weeks ago, and I'm watching it, and I'm still laughing. But it's like, what did I think was funny about this again? Oh, jeepers! There's just you've got to watch funny every now and again, and just have like the biggest belly laugh, because honestly, you need it. Just every now and again, you just sit there and watch 2 or 3 comedies that you know is going to make you laugh. And it just makes you feel so much better. Oh, who was it? Monty Python and the Holy Grail was another one. The first time I ever saw Monty Python and the Holy Grail, I had to go back and watch the movie again, because honestly, I couldn't stop laughing the whole way through it. I just couldn't. So I actually had to go back and watch it again and again and again until I stopped laughing and actually listened to what was going on in the movie. It was, and then somebody said, "Oh, have you ever seen Holy Grail?" Yeah, seen that. "Oh, what did you think of it?" "Oh, it was really good. You should come around and watch Life of Brian." Monty Python, Life of Brian. And it's, oh, okay, fair enough. Went around there, and it was the same thing again. Just couldn't stop laughing. I can understand why George Harrison financed it, because he just wanted to see the movie. It was the world's most expensive movie ticket, because he financed the whole movie, because after he'd read the script, he actually just wanted to go and see the movie. And so he gave them the money to make it, and then of course he went and... But then they ended up running out of I think they ran out of money for Monty Python, because the end of it, where they all get arrested, wasn't actually meant to be the movie. That wasn't meant to be the way the movie was meant to end. It's just that they had so little money that they basically just all got arrested. Oh, it was, both of them were just absolute classics. And like I say, you've got to, honestly, sometimes you just got to sit down and just piss yourself laughing. And it's just, cha-chung. Yeah, the reason they used coconuts was simply because they didn't have the budget for horses. So, and they made it up on the spot as they were filming, because they couldn't afford horses, and they're going, well, how are we meant to be doing this? And then somebody had basically had a coconut and cut it in half and just started going, and it sounded like a bloody horse. I mean, it didn't, but it didn't matter. It's like they didn't have enough money to go around to 3 or 4 different castles, so they just kept on doing all the castle scenes at the same castle, because they actually gave it, they actually wanted to see the movie. And it was, again, another one of these things where all these mega rich people who own these castles said, "No, you're not gonna film that filth here." And this one guy who owned a castle said, "Oh, absolutely, I want to see the movie." And of course, now the castle's a tourist attraction, and all these rich people are going, "Oh, we missed out on all the tourist dollars." It's like, well, fuck off. It's brilliant. Like, seriously. And all this stuff comes out of the minds of, just brilliant people that most people would go, "You're weird," and then they pull something like that off, and it's like, that's brilliant. An American Sparrow. It's like The Gods Must Be Crazy. I don't know whether you've ever seen that, but it was this movie that basically, I can't even remember. What's the premise? Yeah, this this plane's flying, right? And these white guys are in this plane. It's like a little Cessna. And they're having a drink of Coke out of a glass bottle. And he throws it out the window once he's finished it. Just, they're flying over Africa. And it nearly hits this little bushman's head. And he picks it up, and it's like, it's a gift from the gods, But then they find out that it's really evil, and it's just, and the things this guy goes through to get rid of this bottle of Coke, while all this other stuff's happening in the background, is just, oh my God, it's just funny as hell. All coming from this idea that this guy just throws the Coke bottle out of a plane, and it just starts this whole thing. It's like far out. Oh, that's from 1980. Oh my God, I'm old. That's kind of scary. The gods must be crazy. The film follows Xi. Oh, he's not Chinese. Member of the San tribe living peacefully in the Kalahari Desert, whose life is disrupted when a glass Coca-Cola bottle falls from an aeroplane. Initially regarded as a divine gift, the bottle quickly causes conflict and jealousy among the tribe's members because it's scarce and highly useful for various tasks, like carrying water, grinding roots, and curing hides. Recognising the disharmony it brings, Xi decides to return the bottle to the gods, embarking on a journey to the end of the world. Rat race. Okay. We'll do that. Rat race. It's a mad, mad world. I haven't seen that. And that's actually... Oh, you can watch the full video. 1 hour and 52 minutes. Okay. No, I haven't, but apparently I'm going to watch it. It was... The Gods Must Be Crazy was like just a very, very cool movie. And then they brought out Gods Must Be Crazy too, but, the first one's always better. It's a bit like Flying High, the first movie was just freaking awesome. That was funny as hell. Back in the day. Wasn't a good day to stop drinking. Wasn't a good day to stop Coke. Wasn't a good day. Oh, jeez. And then the autopilot. And then at the end of the movie, and it's a girl and a boy, and the girl autopilot and the boy autopilot. Oh, Jesus. The things you think about when you're doing a live. And when he's trying to fly the plane, and I swear to God, someone's just emptying bottles of water over it, water just pouring down. So, I'm sorry. Dude, does anyone know a doctor on this plane? There's something wrong with him. Whack! Oh, no. Whack! Whack! Oh, God. Oh, why don't I have that in my collection? I'd watch it tonight, to be honest. Oh, well, this video has gone in a completely different direction to where we started, but I don't have a problem with that. Just weird movies from, like, the 1980s. But they just make you laugh, and that's the big thing. They're just... Oh my God, you watch them. I mean, the silly thing is, like, you watch them these days and probably go, I don't know what they're talking about. This is really dumb. But back in the day, it was like, oh my God, it's funny. Oh, people just get, does anyone, yes. Oh, dear. These days, half these movies wouldn't even get made. That's the scary part, because they just pick fun at everybody, like seriously everybody, and it's just funny. But half the stuff we used to watch, you just there's no way they'd be able to make it anymore. Like seriously, it's kind of sad, really, but it is what it is. But what else was there? Oh, jeez. I can't think of any others now. Girls Must Be Crazy. Flying High was just, oh my God, Flying High was just crazy. Howard the Duck. Yeah, it sort of, that was about when Alf and things like that were really popular. I think they just started, getting all these weird things going. And what was the other one? Jessica Rabbit with Bob Hoskins. Things like that. Movie. And then there was Warner Brothers versus the basketball team and things like that. Yeah, Leslie Nielsen was just hilarious. He was the master of looking deadpan serious and just saying just the funniest things on the planet. Just without laughing. It's his whole joke about the fart thing, and you've probably seen shorts where he's got like this little thing in his hand and he moves his leg and he presses a button and it sounds like he's just farted. I mean, a fart joke will never not be funny. I never got into Ace Ventura. That's when it sort of got a little bit silly, I think, to a certain extent. I didn't really do Ace Ventura, but I don't know why. I think you had to be in a mood. But see, the funny thing was The Mask. Like Jim Carrey's done like Ace Ventura, and then he comes out with something like The Mask, and like we're just all absolutely wetting ourselves. And it was funny. And I don't know. Peter Sellers was very much. He came well and truly before Leslie Nielsen, but it was of a similar vein where he's almost slapstick to a certain extent, where he'll do something really dumb and just keep it completely. I mean, I don't know how they made half these movies, seriously. The outtakes would have just been insane. How they managed to sort of get through their lines without absolutely wetting themselves, It's just, I don't know how they made movies. It's no wonder they cost so much, because the amount of outtakes that would have been done would have been huge. But yeah, we used to know how to laugh at ourselves, and that was the thing. I don't think we can laugh at ourselves. Like these days, there's like certain videos that out there, where they show people scaring the absolute bejesus out of people, and as much as you laugh at the first couple of clips, by the third one, you're kind of going, this is going to give someone a bloody heart attack if you keep doing it to older people. Like seriously, but Funniest Home Videos used to just crack us up all the time until it went stupid, and people were just setting things up, and it was as obvious as anything they were complete setups. But yeah, it was Funniest Home Videos was pretty good for a long, long while. And we used to have Hey Hey at Saturday, which was on every Saturday night, and all that sort of television you just can't do anymore. They try and bring him back, but it's, they're almost trying too hard. And I think, You know, I'm sure it's the same with Saturday Night Live. You know, probably at one stage it used to be absolutely hilarious. And now you kind of look at it and go, you're just a bunch of idiots. They're almost trying too hard. I don't know. It's like I've always said, you know, remember the good old 1980s when everything was so uncomplicated. Sneaking out. Benny Hill was hilarious. There's no way in hell you'd ever be able to make Benny Hill anymore. Oh my God. I don't know how they've managed to find so many females who are willing to get into bikinis in the middle of the UK and run around the streets of London. It would have been so freaking cold. And then, you know, you imagine standing out there waiting for the cameraman to yell action, you know, and you're standing out like this, and then by the time they actually got to run, they actually wanted to run because it was the only way they were ever going to warm up. You know, it's like, Jesus, you know. Oh, but Benny Hill was just, I don't know. The funny thing is guys, we looked at Benny Hill and thought, well, shit, man, if he can do it, we've got hope. Because he wasn't the most attractive guy in the world. He's got all these women running around with bikinis on chasing him. Most of them were really pissed off at him, but didn't matter. They were still chasing him. Just saying. I don't know. Benny Hill was awesome. Oh my God. Do you know, that went from 1955 to 1989. That is huge. That's 34 years. That's like the Benny Hill starting in 1992, and today the Benny Hill show's been axed. That's massive. Oh my gosh. Oh. Alfred Hawthorne Benny. Well, that's why it was cancelled. He died in 1992, only 3 years after Benny Hill had actually finished. And his name was Alfred Hawthorne Hill, aka Benny. Well, there you go. But 34 years a TV show on. That's... How long has The Simpsons been going? Well, there you go. As of 2025, The Simpsons has been on air for 36 years. Since its primetime debut on the 17th of December 1989, and is set to reach 40 years by 2029. Holy God, that's 30, well, I mean, it's 2026, so 37 years. A TV show. That's crazy. That is crazy. 37 years. So it started in 1989, The Simpsons. Yeah, almost, yeah. That's a long time. That's a very long time. Oh my golly gosh. Certainly a good chunk of my life, I can tell you that. I was born in 71, so the longest running television show. Longest running television show. Let's have a look. Longest running television shows by category. Yeah, we kind of... So... well, the CBS Evening News has been going for 77 years. Hockey Night in Canada has been going for 73 years. You can see why hockey's so popular. Miss America has been going... Miss America, Eurovision Song Contest and the San Remo Music Festival have all been going for 70 years. Coronation Street, oh my God, Coronation Street in the UK has been going for 65 years. What else have we got? See, I don't. The Tonight Show's been going for 71 years on NBC from 1954 to present. I think it's predominantly Doctor Who's been going for 62 years. Doctor Who, hey, Doctor Who. Play School in Australia has been going for 59 years. What else is there? It's actually the oldest one is in the United Kingdom, and it's the Wimbledon Championship. That's been going for 88 years. So for 1939, 1937, 1946, present, not played during World War II, nor in 2020 due to COVID concerns. But otherwise, it's been, the Wimbledon is the longest one. And I'm pretty sure that was being played on radio before it was ever played on TV. So, however long TV's been around for, plus longer. So, the other longest one is something called the Lord Mayor's Show. That's been going for 88 years. That's in the United Kingdom. The oldest one in the United States is Meet the Press on NBC, and that's been going for 78 years. CBS Evening News, 77 years. Music and the Spoken Word. That's something to do with religion. 76 years. The Tonight Show, 71 years. This is just America. Miss Universe, 70 years. So yeah, they put The Simpsons to shame. It probably was more exciting than watching it on television. I've got to be honest. Tennis is one of those things that, if you've got really good commentators on the radio, it is far better to listen to than actually watch. It's funny the way that kind of works, but yeah. What's the oldest one in Australia? The oldest one in Australia is Four Corners, which is a documentary, and it's sort of news documentary, and that's 64 years old. It's Academic, a TV show called It's Academic. It's a quiz show. It's been going for 64 years. There's actually quite a lot. The Simpsons actually, surprisingly, on this list, is actually near the bottom. He's probably out watering the birds. I don't know. Yeah, it's actually The Simpsons is actually right down the bottom of the list compared to some of the other ones, which is incredible. Because I thought 34 years was bloody plenty. He's building a robot. He'd better be. One for Kendall and one for me, I reckon. That's what I reckon. And he can send it over here ASAP. And particularly one with a surgeon. one that likes going camping, one that's into surgery. So, you know, all these wonderful things, you know. Yeah. Nepenthe, yeah, it's crazy how long some of these shows have been going. But anyway. So there you go. We've talked about funny movies. We've talked about relationships. I hope that helped. Probably not, but I don't know. And I don't know where. No, still haven't. I hope Adam's doing okay. No, you're okay, Lee. I hope Adam is actually okay, because I think this has actually taken a bit out of him. Whatever's happened with Dex, and we don't need to know, I think it's probably gonna. I'm kind of a little bit concerned about him. Watch what? Rewatch. I wouldn't rewatch my life from the beginning. No. It got a little bit serious. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of a bit worried about him. In a weird way. Because he's been doing this show for I don't know how long. There's a lot of people who basically have watched him for a long, long time. And now all of a sudden, you know, his best mate is obviously had to pull back, and it's kind of left Marv or Adam probably wondering what he needs to be doing now, or how he's going to do it, and he's almost got to sort of almost go right back to the very start again, and that's going to be kind of very difficult. So I really do feel for him. You know, yeah, he was going to do something on site. It's almost going back to where he started from, like I said. But yeah, I hope he's okay. Because this would have hit like a ton of bricks. From the sounds of things, so yeah, I don't know. It kind of does kind of worry me a little bit, but and it's nice to see a lot of people on here from there, but I know we'd all rather be there, if that kind of makes sense. Because it kind of becomes part of the background furniture, if that makes sense. You know, it's kind of nice to know that at certain times certain things come on and you watch it, and you know you're listening to it, but you're also connecting with a whole bunch of incredible people. And yeah, I certainly hope Adam and Dex are okay. You know, because I don't want to see him sort of just vanish, which I'm sure he's not, but it's kind of weird. I don't know. None of us would have met without him. It's as simple as that. So, yeah. They both work really well off each other. That's the thing. And it's kind of like your arms are being chopped off in a way. And it's like, well, shit, what do I do now? You know, I don't know. If you're working on your 3D print stuff at the same time. No, that's all right. Because I got to be honest with you, when I first started this thing, and I thought maybe I should just do a news thing, and then I thought, no. No, I'm not really buffering. Sorry, I'm just bullshitting you. Yeah, I did wonder whether I should do. Is that good? Freeze like a robot. Whether I should do a news thing, but I thought no. Adam does it perfectly well, and there's others out there who do it perfectly well. So I'm not going to even try and do shit like that, because I would rather people go to them, because they do it incredibly well, and they've been doing it for a long time, and you know, yeah. And what the fuck, reading about yeah, only because I read half these articles and go, he's driving a brown convertible. What the hell's he driving a brown convertible? Who drives a brown convertible? Seriously. I mean, come on. Who goes out, who's got more money than you can poke a stick at, and goes, I don't want a red convertible. I don't want a white convertible. I want a brown one. Who does that? I mean, clearly he does that, but who else? He's got to own the only brown convertible that's ever existed. You're going to start a channel. Awesome, Kendall. Well, you know I'll subscribe. That's easy. I would do it in a heartbeat. That's what we do. If somebody starts a channel, that's just what we do. We support each other. That's the way you've got to do it. And it doesn't matter what you talk about. You talk about what you want to talk about. Had 40,000 before. Oh my God. I think I've got 93. 93 compared to 40,000. Jesus, man. 94. Oh, you just checked, did you? Who's the 94th? This is what pisses me off about YouTube, right? Like they say, you should have a channel. Okay, I'll have a channel. And then people subscribe, but they won't actually let you know who they are. I don't know. I have one that I just post, my boy at work, and outdoor stuff. Nothing wrong with outdoor stuff. I love outdoor stuff. Have you? Yeah, I've got a lot of little shorts, which I haven't done for a while, because I just keep shorting the same bloody landscape, and I figure everyone's going to kind of get bored about that. One of my, did I tell you, one of my mates, my biggest short, and I was just driving out of town, stopped on the side of the road, there was a break in the trees, right? And I thought, that's interesting. Held my phone up for 30 seconds or however long a short goes for, and it stopped. And to this day, I don't know why. And people were watching it, and not just watching it once. They were watching it 2 or 3 times in a row, because you can see that sort of stuff, right? And I swear to God, half of them were waiting for something to go from one tree to the other. And they had to keep watching it just in case they'd missed something. Nothing happened. All it was me holding the camera with 2 trees, just shooting between 2 trees. So you could see the 2 trees sort of doing that, right? And I said to a mate of mine, he said, how have you got 1,000 bloody views on this damn thing? And I said, I think what I should do is go out and reshoot it again, right? And what I'll do, I need 2 people, one behind the camera and somebody willing to actually run naked between the 2 trees. I don't know. Or maybe they were waiting for some sheep to go past, you know. Or maybe some bloke running past going, ah! Like this, completely naked. Just, you know. I don't know. It wasn't just, the stupid thing is, Nepenthe, it wasn't just people in Australia. There were people in Croatia, because YouTube tells you where people are viewing it from. I don't know. Second, there were 3 people in Croatia that actually watched that video over and over and over again. It's like, why? It's a bloody paddock with friggin' wheat growing in it. That's all it ever was. I said, I really need to get out there and actually do something again with it, because, you know, I've thought of thousands of ways, you know, send a dog through first, you know, and then somebody chasing after the dog, you know, come back here, you bastard. You know, there's 1,000 ways you could film that seriously, and you would have people going, oh my God, what's going to happen next? It's like, there's got to be some seriously bored people in the world that watch that 3 times in a row. Jesus. Oh, golly gosh, the things that make you smile. It's just hilarious, really. It could have been. That's the thing. You could go back out there and film like 30 different episodes of what's going to happen between the 2 trees out in the paddock. What's going to happen next? You know, it's like 120,000 views. Yeah, I don't get that many. You could run an entire YouTube channel just off this one little area. Just saying, you know. Guy comes along and sets up a barbecue and, I don't know, does something. You know, a naked man running past, and then a female running after him or something, you know. You could do 2 videos out of that. The first one where the naked, yeah, I know, waiting for a kangaroo to go past. Maybe it's like that, what is it, you know, these videos that show these racetracks, and it shows this car screaming towards the corner, and then they replace it with Lightning McQueen, and he goes, ka-chow! You know, and you realise it's a bit like the old, what is it, Never Gonna Give You Up video. You've been rickrolled. Oh, that's your other channel. Oh, okay. JD Pass. Ooh. Okay. Now you're going to have to... Okay, so... JD Pass. Buck? Is it Buck? Oh, you're gonna subscribe. Ta-da! Okay, you're now up to 7 subscribers. Well, there you go. That's cool. So who else? Kendall. Okay, so we're gonna have to look up you. So, Kendall. Oh, Jesus. Sorry. Damien can't type. Oh, okay, I forgot the 3. 3. Maybe not. I can't find it. Why can't I find it? What does music mean to me? Is that it? Kendall, what's your YouTube channel? Apparently I've got to subscribe to it now. I've got one here for 19 subscribers. One there with 2, but I'm pretty sure that's not you. Kendall knows. Oh, okay, that's your YouTube channel. Oh, right. Kendall knows about Kendall. Kendall Ray? Okay. This is... Kendall knows, I think. Yeah, you can drop your link. That's probably going to be a lot easier. How? Yeah, that's a good question. If you're as technologically advanced as I am, I can't give you any advice at all, because I'm just not. I know how to hit live, and that's about as far as I get. Do you know how long it took me to actually do that 3.5 hour thing with Chance yesterday? That was nearly a week and a half of me pulling my hair out, as you can see. That's why it looks like crap. I think it was worth it though. I think you had fun. I definitely did have fun. That was definitely worth it. I'm pretty sure if you go into your YouTube analytics, your hours would have gone through the roof, because everyone was just so involved. It was like awesome. Oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. It's that's got to be more than what you've been getting. I would do it again just to help you with your hours, and I would do it again just because, you know, I don't work for free. Oh, you're going to bed, Tammy? Yeah, you have a great night. Sleep well. Stay safe. All that sort of stuff. Awesome seeing you here. Yeah, I know. Three. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, I can't spell. Come spend the week with us. I don't know. No, that's all right, Tammy. What does music mean to me? By Kendall Pate. I don't know. I've got one for 19 subscribers and one for 2. And I'm pretty sure that's... You're not actually 19 and a female, Kendall. They've disappeared. Everyone's gone quiet. Shh. You does it go? How does it do that? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, that's enough tech. I'm glad you could find it, JPAS. Hi everyone, my name is Kendall and I love creating. This channel is my video diary. I will be posting anything and everything on. Demo reel. I went to Penelope Road. 21st. Good heavens. YouTube.com at Kendall.com. Not found. I'm pretty sure if I hit this, it's going to disappear. That's the problem. Either I can't spell, three. Yeah. Oh, I just love it when things don't work. Open the stupid chat on your computer. Can you do that, can you? I thought it actually uploaded onto live for watching. Oh God. I didn't know you could do that. Oh, there you are. Okay, subscribe. We got it. Yay. I honestly didn't know you could do that. Sorry. I just... Yay. I didn't know that you could do a live on a phone and be able to see it on my PC at the same time. I'm sorry, I'm just not that intelligent when it comes to this shit. I keep telling you. Sorry. Yeah, I know, right? This is who you have to work with, yeah. Maybe I am a boomer. Maybe that's the damn problem. This bloody technology, I swear to God, it used to be easier when it was in my younger days. I used to be able to just type on here and we were good to go, and now they've just bloody made everything so much damn difficult and it's time for my afternoon nap. Get off my lawn. Hey, what's a boomer? What's a burner phone? Is that a phone that comes lit up? Hey? What's a laptop? Back in my day, I used to go down for this walk, and I used to go down. Oh, I used to wake up, and geez, that was hard. It was cold. There was ice hanging off the ceiling, and you know. I remember Betsy. She used to do laptop. What was it? Some sort of dancing or something like that? I don't know. Oh, she was a good one, that Betsy. Her and her friend. What was her friend's name? Fanny. That's the one. Got to do it once, apparently. She was cattle. That's only so you know. Nothing like that here. Sixpence. Oh, my mum used to grab all the 1 and 2 cent pieces, and she used to go to the phone box, and we used to have to sit there, even though it was by the beach. We weren't allowed on the beach. No, not until the phone call was finished. But we weren't allowed to be anywhere else. We had to watch all the people on the beach while she fed 1 and 2 cent pieces into that little red box, so she could call someone a long way away. Oh, golly gosh. It's disgustingly easy to just fall into that, especially when it comes to that. I told you, Gen Xers are just turning into boomers. It's just the way it is. Because I understand why boomers are like they are these days. Except we're broke boomers. That's the difference. We've still got the same stories. We've still got the same all this other stuff. Yeah. I didn't get my boomer. Where's my boomer check? I'm old enough to get a check from the government. And I haven't got mine yet. It's probably lost in that bloody snail mail. We used to get things by email. But that wasn't working this morning either. So, it's just not right. I'm going to go and speak to my senator. And give him a piece of my mind. I don't know whether we get those sort of... We get the pension. But, that doesn't go very far these days. I remember back in the day. Oh, almost ready to retire. I think you need to turn those numbers around, and it's probably... But anyway... 54, 45? Possibly. I don't know. If you can't get a boomer check, can you get the banger one? One would bloody well hope so, because by the time you reach this age, you deserve it. No, it's always 84. He just forgets. A bran muffin. Oh, that'd get things moving in the morning, wouldn't it? And when you get to my age, you need things to be moving. I love bran muffins. Oh dear, this conversation's going to the shits, isn't it? He just wants his bran muffin with peanut butter on it. Thank you very much. You can't have a plain bran muffin without peanut butter, because then it gets stuck in your teeth, and then you got something else to complain about. One day you had 2 bran muffins, and 30 people behind you fainted at the sound of it, or was that the smell of it? Oh, those poor animals in the paddock next door, 20 miles away. Oh, Jesus. The sad part is he had Mexican the night before, so, that just made it 10 times worse. He's going to grow up to things. God, imagine going out for dinner and having Mexican and the next morning eating bran muffins with chili sauce and peanut butter. It's like pew, pew, pew. Oh my golly gosh. Skip that. Yeah, so that's where he went wrong in the first place, was going to Starbucks. It's bloody, from what I've heard, it's bloody awful coffee compared to what we've got here. Jesus, we're the only country that actually booted Starbucks out. Said, you can't serve that shit here, seriously. Oh, golly gosh. Golly gosh. Where did Jem go and everyone else? I think I've turned everyone off already. I probably should do some work. It is 2:30 in the afternoon. And I didn't finish until like 7:30, 8 o'clock last night, because I had to catch up afterwards. But I'm pretty sure tomorrow night I'm going to go bush. I don't care what the weather says. So, should be okay tomorrow. And then apparently it's going to be raining all day Saturday, because tomorrow for me is Friday. And I reckon I might just go out bush, because it's been too long since I've slept in a sleeping bag and it kind of feels weird. What are we talking about? Jeepers, Austin, if you've missed all of that, mate, it's probably a good thing. Everything. From what old people eat for breakfast, just to piss the neighbours off, 30 miles away apparently. I'm pretty sure you produced that bran muffin after eating two of them. That planet after eating 2 bran muffins. It's like... It's been quite the laugh fest today, really, considering how this whole bloody live started. Honestly, at least it's gone up. I mean, it's starting to head down. Hot air balloon. I did have spaghetti for lunch. It's a good thing I didn't have baked beans. I was going to have baked beans for lunch, but then I chose not to. Yeah, I don't know. I get hot enough as it is in bed. Kept turning I'm making beans dip. Okay, now you got me curious. What is beans dip? I mean, I thought guacamole was a dip, or I don't know. There's plenty of dips around. Let's have a look at... Actually, that's something weird. Like, why are there so many dip flavours these days? This is the sort of shit we talk about on my channel. Everything. So, we've got guacamole, hummus, cheese dips, spinach and cheese, French onion. French onion's pretty damn good. Although you can make that at home. You just get French onion soup and cream cheese and grind and mix it all up, and hey presto, you could make it a lot cheaper than what you buy the dip for, and a lot more. Mexican inspired spicy chicken, jalapeno or taco flavored dips bring bold, smoky and spicy notes. spicy notes. Mediterranean, baba ganoush, tzatziki. Oh, seriously, I think they're just making words up now. Taramasalata. Wasn't there a salata biscuit? Chocolate hummus. Caramel or butterscotch dips. That just sounds disgustingly wonderful. Mint, avocado and broad bean. Roasted carrot or pumpkin. Salsa pesto. Cream cheese, chili beans, refried beans, chopped green chilies, shredded cheddar, sliced jalapeno. So basically everything that was left over from this week's. Yeah, it's a fish roe. Yeah, tzatziki is awesome, although a little bit boring, I think. Baba ganoush is roasted eggplant. Yes. Buffalo chicken dip, artichoke dip. I don't know about that. I don't really like artichokes. Salmon dip with cream cheese. That'd be nice. Beer dip. Oh, yeah. BLT dip. BLT dip. Brownie batter dip. Oh, my God. I can't. Yeah. Slow cooker cheeseburger dip. Crab rangoon dip. Okay, so pretty much whatever you had last night, just grind it all up until it becomes almost like a liquid, and then you can dip a biscuit or chip or something like that into it. That's pretty much what they're saying. A garlic dip. Well, you'd have to have something else in it other than garlic. Classic spinach dip. Why is it white? Isn't spinach green? Dill dip. Say that 10 times quickly. Dill dip. Nacho cheese sauce. A beer cheese dip. There you go. There's one for you. Crab dip. Hot seafood spread. Ranch dip. Okay. Anything basically that you can dip a chip into, you know. Oh, you had leftover roast lamb. Just grind it all up. Grinded roast lamb dip. I don't know. Dip flavours. 32 delicious dip recipes from the Woman's Weekly Food Guide. I'm not going to... I stuck that... I actually did an episode where I actually read through a Woman's Day cookbook because the girls just wanted to hear my Australian accent and I couldn't find a phone book for them. So I read through that instead. You've got to keep the ladies happy. From baked lemon and ricotta hummus and traditional Greek taramasalata to a guacamole and charred eggplant dips. There's truly something for everyone. Air fryer cob loaf, baked brie fondue, spinach dip, basic hummus, tzatziki dip, baba ganoush, yogurt and cucumber dip, tzatziki, eggplant dip, spicy guacamole, roasted carrot hummus, chia and tomato guacamole with sumac crisps. Why am I getting hungry? I really shouldn't be reading this stuff. Roast pumpkin dip with spiced chickpeas. Baked lemon ricotta hummus with pita bread. Roasted capsicum and walnut dip. tahini dip, tuna dip. That's kind of boring. You just scrape it out of the tin and plant your biscuit into it. What do you call it? I don't know. We call them biscuits. Tuna dip, roasted parsnip hummus with warmed spiced chickpeas, sweet chili cream cheese dip, beetroot dip is actually quite nice. I will give it that much. Beetroot and yogurt dip, smoked trout dip, that just sounds expensive. Camembert fondue, I can't pronounce that. Garlic toast with feta and olive dip. Yum. Oh, look at the colour of that. Sorry, I got to show you the photo of this. That almost looks fake. Roast beetroot and red onion dip. Look at the colour of it. It's almost like a work of art. That is cool. That's a version of purple I haven't seen before, but I like it. Quick beetroot dip, crab dip. Feta and black olive dip. Yeah, I couldn't eat that. The feta would be okay, but the black olives, yeah. Black olives are only really... Well, maybe you should let him out every now and again, JPass. Because he's probably stuck there. Just saying. Chunky capsicum and cashew dip. Yellow split pea dip. I had to. I'm sorry. It's just, you opened a door. Pita crisp was with eggplant dip. Ran out. Pemmican. What's pemmican? Okay. Pemmican. Traditional food made from a mixture of tallow, dried meat and sometimes dried berries. It is known for being a calorie-rich food that can be used in prepared meals, prepping, or eaten raw. Historically, pemmican was used by indigenous North American people as a vital source of energy for travel, survival and trade. Well, there you go. That's a prepping food. A survival food. There you go. How cool is that? Why have I not heard about that? Pemmican. You should, Chance. The name comes from the word Cree word, which is derived from the word pimi, meaning fat grease. The Lakota or Sioux word is wajna, originally meaning grease derived from marrow bones, with the wa creating a noun and sna referring to small pieces that adhere to something. Traditionally been made using whatever meat is available, large game meat such as bison, deer, elk or moose, but also fish such as salmon and smaller game such as duck, while contemporary pemmican may also include beef. The meat is dried and chopped before being mixed with rendered animal fat. Dried fruit may be added, cranberries, Saskatoon berries, and even blueberries, cherries, chokeberries and currants, though in some regions these are used almost exclusively for ceremonial and wedding pemmican. And European fur traders also noted the addition of sugar. Among the Lakota and Dakota nations, there is a corn pemmican that does not contain dried meat. This is made from toasted cornmeal animal fat, fruit and sugar. Traditionally, the meat was cut in thin slices and dried either over a slow fire or in the hot sun until it was hard and brittle. Approximately 5 pounds of fresh meat make 1 pound of dried meat suitable for pemmican. The thin, brittle meat is known in Cree as pansawan and colloquially in North American English as dry meat. Well, that's easy to say. The dry meat was then spread across a tanned animal hide, pinned to the ground, where it was beaten with flails. You bad meat, bad meat. I think someone was getting off personally, but each to their own. Or ground between two large stones. That was the very bad meat. It knew it was naughty. Until it turned into very small pieces, almost powder-like in its consistency. The pounded meat was then mixed with melted fat. Are we going down the 50 shades of pemmican again here? I don't know. Anyway. In an approximate 1-to-1, so the pounded meat was then mixed with melted fat in an approximate 1-to-1 ratio by weight. Typically, the melted fat would be sway that has been rendered into tallow. In some cases, dried fruits such as blueberries, chokeberries, cranberries or Saskatoon berries were pounded into a powder and then added to the meat-fat mixture. So it's like a powdered recipe or something. Everything seems to be turned into powder, and then added to the meat-fat mixture. The resulting mixture was then packed into rawhide bags for storage, where it would cool and then harden into pemmican. Pemmican may be stored in glass jars or tin boxes with shelf life varying on ingredients and storage conditions. The only thing I would say is that with meat being the way it is these days, with all the preservatives and everything else, you'd probably want to be going out and actually getting fresh meat if you were to do this, just as a thought. But it actually sounds all right. I mean, if you've got meat that's got, even cranberries, blueberries, stuff like that, it would actually be quite tasty, I got to be honest. Because you kind of got the protein as well as that bit of sweetness about it. You can store it for years, yeah. The pemmican was cooked in 2 ways in the West. One, a stew of pemmican, water, flour, and if it could be secured, wild onions or preserved potatoes. This was called rubabu. The other was called by the plains hunters a richout. It was cooked in frying pan with onions and potatoes or alone. Some persons ate pemmican raw, but I must say I've never had a taste of it that way. This was in the notes of 1870. I'm just reading this off Wikipedia, by the way, if anyone wants to know. So you can read along if you'd like. I just typed in pemmican and hit Wikipedia, and that's where I'm reading all this stuff from. But yeah, that sounds all right. 5 pounds down to 1 pound, that's still a lot of meat. That's still a lot of meat. There's other ones. See also Alaskan ice cream, biltong, Southern African air-dried cured meat. Well, beef jerky, everyone's heard of that. Mincemeat, yeah, well, you can go down to Costco, or I can go down to my local supermarket and buy that. Nutriloaf, food served as punishment in prisons. Oh, that sounds wonderfully delicious. Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, it's just about got the recipe on Wikipedia, so you know. But like I say, you know, you'd probably want to get, if you can, fresh meat from a farm, like butchered meat from a farm, because at least that way you know that, number one, it's grass-fed, number two, it's got no preservatives or anything else like that in it. It is just meat. So you'd want it as basically fresh as you possibly could. Well, yeah, there is that. I suppose, yeah, the article I was reading was from 1974, or from 1874. So grease was basically everyone carried grease around, as far as I know. Well, they all seem to have it. So, I don't know where they got it from. Yeah. As bone grease is an essential ingredient in pemmican, archaeologists consider evidence of its manufacture a strong indicator of pemmican making. There is a widespread archaeological evidence, bone fragments and boiling pits for bone grease production on the Great Plains by AD 1. As in 1. But is likely developed much earlier. Calcified bone fragments from Paleo-Indian times, however, do not offer clear evidence of pemmican making due to lack of boiling pits. So I'm only assuming they're basically boiling it somehow, and I'm imagining that's probably the part of the bit that is about the cooking, because I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want to dry raw meat. So maybe they boil it first and then they dry it out. The first account of the persecutor, what is now considered pemmican, is Francisco Vázquez de Coronado's 1541 account of the Cochero Indians and Taya people who traversed the region of Texas, now known as the Texas Panhandle, who were known to sun-dry and mince bison meat, add bison fat, and make a stew of it. The first written English usage of pemmican is attributed to James Isham, who in 1743 wrote that pemmican was a mixture of finely powdered dried meat, fat, and cranberries. Yeah, dried in an oven is probably the way I'd go about it. Yeah, I wouldn't leave it in the sun. God knows what that'd end up like. And besides that, it'd take so damn long. But, you know, it depends on how thick it is, because I haven't actually said how thick it. But I suppose if you then air dry it, that's, I don't know. I'd imagine it'd probably actually work okay. Because I have seen people do jerky in an air fryer. So yeah, I mean, you could pretty much flavour it however you wanted to, from the sounds of things. It's entirely up to you. But you know, if you've only got it in like a, you know, in a glass jar in your backpack or something like that, something sweet is actually quite something sweet would actually work better, because it's kind of like and you'd be able to feed the kids it as well. if you had kids with you, because they'll eat anything sweet. Anything that's basically got a hint of sweetness to it, they'll eat it. So, and they won't complain about it. Yeah, honey would be another way to do it. In fact, if you used actual real honey instead of whatever you're getting out of the supermarket or grocery store, that stuff will last for decades. Well, it's about time it's coming out of him. Sorry, just saying. I know plenty of Greeks and Italians, by the way, so... Oh, God, Sicilian. Jesus, there we go. Sicilian's where all the mafia came from. Yes. God. You got a little bit of Greek and 62% Sicilian. I'm pretty sure the Italians and the Greeks are... Oh, dear. Hey? Great-grandmother was Italian. Never knew her. Yeah, my family's all English/Irish. Mum left the UK just after she was basically a baby during World War II. So they came out to Australia. So Mum was actually born in England and Dad was born in Australia, but both of them, their parents pretty much came from the UK. Wisgen, how are you? Have we had... No, Adam still hasn't been on. So, yeah. Oh, that's good. Awesome. Good to see you. So, yes. But there we go. Look at all the stuff we're learning today. It's like, and it's all good shit. This is what my channel does. We start on something and end up on something completely different. The Lost Ways. Yeah, there's actually a guy on YouTube called Sail Daddy 1, and I'm not joking. And he's always pushing the Lost Ways. The Lost Ways. The way your grandfather did things or whatever it was. Yeah, I've seen that book a number of times. I don't actually have that book though. Because every time I've looked up the price of it, it's been like... The Lost Ways book. Hang on a sec. The Lost Ways book scam came up in my search. So let's have a look at that. Here we go. Sorry. I have to read this and look, only because I've heard of this book, but I just typed in The Lost Ways and the first thing, one of the first things that came up says The Lost Ways book scam. So let's have a read of it, just in case. Okay? I know, right, Chance? Mind you, this is Copilot saying this, so we've got to learn somehow, seriously. I don't know. I don't have the book. I've heard about it a lot. So here we go. Content and quality. The Lost Ways claims to teach survival skills and traditional living techniques, but reviews indicate the book often falls short of expectations. It reads more like a collection of blog posts with modern technology references rather than a comprehensive guide to off-grid living. Some instructions are incomplete or potentially unsafe, and the book is shorter and less detailed than alternatives like Carla Emery's The Encyclopedia of Country Living. as I don't actually own the book, does that sound right or wrong? Hey, Angie. Does that sound about right? I don't know. I can't answer because I've never read the book. So the author credibility, I'll read on. This book is attributed to Claude Davis, but investigations suggest that Claude Davis may not be a real person. Well, duh. There's a lot of authors running around using names that aren't actually their real names. So that's not entirely surprising. Customer complaints. Some buyers report receiving fewer pages than advertised, missing bonus materials, and difficulty contacting customer support. Photos and instructions for identifying plants or performing survival tasks are often low quality, making practical application challenging. So, I don't know. Look, absolutely, Kendall. It's one of those things, I think, if you buy one book and rely on it, you're an idiot. You need to buy several, or at least know that it's been exceedingly well written and very well researched and has information in there that's actually being used. Waiting. I was going to say, like Chance Paladin's book, but no. So the idea is you don't just buy a book like The Lost Ways. Like I've got the SES Survival Guide as well. Had it for years, and it's in one of those little sort of size books, that fits perfectly into a backpack. It's great. The only problem is trying to bloody open it and actually read it, or even holding a page open while you're trying to basically. It's not a scam. Good Lord. The book is sold digitally for $37. I don't know why anyone would buy it digitally. You'd want a hard copy. So, conclusion. The Lost Ways is not a formal scam, but is widely considered overhyped and overpriced relative to the content provided. Depends on what you're after. Potential buyers should be cautious, read independent reviews, and consider alternative sites. Yeah, exactly like I say. Don't buy this book and hope that it's going to save you when shit goes down, because it's probably not. Just be ready for constructive criticism. Yeah, if it starts, the benefit of any book really is if it kicks an interest in something, like you might really pick up on what weeds are edible, and that takes you down a journey into many other books that you go down. So if that's what it's going to do, then that's absolutely fantastic, and there's nothing wrong with that. If it teaches you how to do certain things, and there's something in there that really piques your interest, and you sort of go down the EMP just happened, I suppose. Yeah, I know. Everyone's jumping onto this whole idea, but it's the whole, anything that's sold digitally, I don't touch, because you can lose it in about half a second. If you need to have something which you can refer to, and the best way of doing things is to actually get out there and just have a go. Find a place where you can actually, where you can actually camp or do something along those sort of lines. Test it all out. That's the thing. It's like the whole gas bottle thing that I had the other day. my gas bottle, propane bottle, decided in its infinite wisdom that it was going to run out. Okay, fair enough, whatever. So I grabbed my spare gas bottle, thinking, yeah, I'll just hook the hose up to that, and I'll be back in business, no time. Except the connections didn't actually fit. I wouldn't have picked this up had my gas bottle not emptied. I just wouldn't have. And it's then taken me the better part of nearly 2 weeks to try and figure out how I can actually replace it, because it's not like walking into it should be just as easy to walk into a hardware store, grab the connection, put it on the gas bottle, and hey presto, you're on your way. Do you reckon that happens? Not in my life. No, it's never as simple as that. It just isn't. What's happened is that in between me buying the gas bottle and in between my other gas bottle running out, they just changed everything. They changed all the connections, completely changed them. You cannot plug anything old into the new anymore. And guess what? They don't sell the old stuff anymore. So you can't even buy the old connections anymore. This is what they do, and it's like, oh my God. So I've got a perfectly good gas bottle, 4 kilo, it's only a little one, that's full of gas, and I can't access it. So I've got to get rid of it. I ended up having to basically buy a new bottle with the new connections, because the stupid thing is, even if I get the old bottle, I can't then go back and get it refilled. So even if it runs out, it's no good anymore. No one will take it. It's like, what? So I'm sitting there thinking, I'm perfectly fine. I've got plenty of gas bottles out there. What's the issue? These gas bottles last for 3 to 6 months, because the little 2-burner stoves take next to no gas, and those things cook like nothing else on barely a whimper of gas. So it takes ages for the gas bottles to run out. And I'm thinking, I've got plenty of gas. No, can't access any of it. So, yeah, I'm kind of glad it happened now, as opposed to, oh my God, I've got to get out there and live out there, and then to find out that there's a problem. Not that it would have made a difference, because I've got other ways to cook out there. So, it's more a convenience thing rather than anything else. So it wouldn't have actually bothered me, because I've got barbecue plates out there. I've got all sorts of stuff. So I can cook in about 3 different ways. So that was never the problem. But, it's one of those things that you kind of, if you've got the stuff out there, it may as well be usable, because if it ain't usable, there's no point in it being out there. So, yeah. It's, hey, Shastina, how are you? Hand pink waving. Everyone's joining in. So, yeah, it's kind of one of those things that, you think you're prepared, and then something like that happens. And I mentioned this to a mate of mine. He rang me up and he was talking to me, and he said, so how have you been going? And I told him about the gas bottle, and he goes, when did they change it? And I said, I don't know, somewhere in the last 2 years. And he goes, oh my God. He said, you realise I've got all these gas bottles sitting out the back. And I said, how full are they? And he said, not very. They're all about to run out. And I said, well, guess what? You just lost all your bloody gas bottles. It's like, oh my God. It's crazy. Like, it's just one of those dumb things that you just don't look at. You just assume it works. And what was the old saying in the movie? I can't repeat it now because there's too many lovely ladies here. So I won't. So, yeah, assumption is the cause of all. Anyway, how's the weather? You've been busy getting stuff moved out of storage. That's cool. So yeah, it's just fascinating. It's like a few people have said, go through your preps, actually use them. Test it all, see whether it works, blah, blah, blah. And I've been doing that, and I'm still screwing things up. So that's why if I come across something stupid like that, I will say something, because everyone just assumes it's all good. So, you got to do the things. Don't just assume you've got a little bag in the corner. It's all good. How long's the bag been there for? How long's the stuff in there been there for? All that sort of stuff. So there you go. Hot in the day, as soon as the sun goes down, it's cold. That sounds like you live in the desert. That's what happens in deserts. Just canned up 4 pints of chili today. Good on them, cold days. Yeah, it's, don't stop. Just keep putting little bits and pieces away, and hopefully it'll be enough. That's the thing. All you need are bricks or Besser blocks. Yeah, just make sure the Besser blocks aren't wet, otherwise they'll explode. That's the only thing. I'm okay. I've got, I just go bush. It's as simple as that. And I've got all my gear out there. So, I've got a fire pit out there, and I bought it's like a fire pit from King's. It's rectangle box that sits on 4 legs, and it's got a chimney. And the reason I bought that was because you can actually cook on it. Because you can lift the lid off, put timber in there, light it up, put the lid back on, and you can actually boil a kettle, because I tried it. As soon as I got it, I thought, well, I'm not buying this thing unless it's dual purpose. And it turns out that it not only gives me heat during the winter, but it also, I can cook on it. So I don't actually need gas out there. But it's just nice to have gas, because it does cook pretty well. Yeah, I've done that. I've done that since I was 8 years old in Penth. I still do it to this day. Not during the week though. Going through all my belongings I've had stored since 20. Yeah, don't get sick. Now's not the time to get sick, Shastina. Look, some people do have an issue, JPass, and that's okay. It's well, you should, Shastina. You should at least give it a go. Otherwise, it's a lot of money spent for something that sits in the cupboard and never actually gets used. Got to break it, yeah. Break it in. Just go down to a range and find somewhere that's local. You might find that you'll actually have a lot of fun. Yeah. And they do need to be broken in. So I've got a few. I just don't talk about them. Yeah. Look, it's one of those things, and I've sort of said it before, and I'll say it again, but it is one of those topics that I sort of I don't get too much into it. Yeah, only because there's only me. I can't be walking around with more. So yeah, it's some people find it funny. Yeah, it's why I don't, Nepenthe, and like I said, it's one of those things that I could talk about 1,000 different more things than I do talk about, but there has to be some little secrets in there somewhere, and that's okay. I would talk about it face to face, but just not here. Because this is a little bit too public. Anyone can see this. And based on what they do with these videos after, like, this is a live, and I'm talking to you live. But what a lot of people who've never done a live before don't realise is that this goes off to the AI, which then listens to every single word that I say, and they come out with a translation. So anyone who looks back on it after it's gone live, they can actually read. They can turn the volume right down and they can read everything that I've said. I don't do that. Yeah, it's funny. It doesn't understand some words, and it is hilarious to see what it doesn't actually do. It doesn't like the swearing part of it. It puts it in like little brackets with just a line. Yeah, I know. It's, I kind of go back to the old Trekkies, who used to speak in Klingon, and it's like, I don't know. I'm starting to think that, maybe that's not a silly idea. But, it's kind of hard when you're sort of talking to people that you'll never actually meet face to face. So, try and come up with a language, where you're trying to teach each other online while the online is watching you is kind of impossible. So, as much as a secret language would be nice, it's never going to work. So, because we'll never meet each other. So, and that's just the way it is. So, we all do. I mean, when is it not listening? Seriously, it's called an Apple phone, or it's called a Samsung phone, or yeah. I'm pretty sure these days. I mean, what is it? The Aussie Barbie. Someone was. There's a bird on YouTube called the Aussie Barbie, and she's dressed up, in her hat, and wearing very short shorts and all this sort of stuff, and for some reason she actually managed to interview our Prime Minister the other day and asked, who would you rather? What's the old English program? Is it shag, root, or avoid, or something along the lines of that? And she dropped three names. Like, I think one was Kylie Minogue and one was Danny Minogue, and there was somebody else. And Albo's sitting there going, oh, yeah, I mean, I'm married. I just got married a few months ago. I can't really get. Yeah, but if it didn't mean anything, like, this doesn't mean anything. It's just a joke thing, And he goes, oh, Kylie Minogue. And everyone's pissed themselves laughing. Somebody's come along and gone, that's not a very good interviewing technique. Like, why is she dressed in barely anything at all? And it's not really a very professional interview. And I'm thinking, it's the Aussie Barbie. Like, that's who she is. It's a character that she's playing, and it's not an actual interview. So what the hell are you on about? You know, it's like people just take this shit so seriously. It's just weird. No, apparently they're not allowed to have fun anymore. Like, she was taken, like, you know, this is a, you know, she barely have 3 brain cells in her head, but clearly she's doing okay on Instagram and whatever other channels she's on. She's making more money than I'll ever make. So, you know, there must be a few more brain cells in there, but she plays a character with no brain cells, and just takes the piss out of everyone and out of everything. And she hasn't changed her outfit. You know, she looks the same as when she first started doing videos. And that's just who she is. So don't think that somebody professional is asking bloody Albo what the damn, who he'd rather shag, avoid, or kiss. It's not really the sort of question somebody from 60 Minutes asks a Prime Minister. You know, it's like, come on. If people can't see through that, I don't know what the hell they think this life is all about. Jesus. She's pretty funny. But, you know, it's like, oh my God. She'd drive me nuts, seriously. That sort of person would drive me nuts. Oh, it's like we were talking about earlier, you know, with the old movies from the 1980s and that sort of thing, how funny they used to be and how you couldn't make them anymore. Like, you just can't. And, like, you can't even have a bloody laugh without someone friggin'... Jen, it's a bird by the name of the Aussie Barbie. And it's one of those old, you know, the African safaris, you know, where they're walking around with that type of hat and the sort of light sandy khaki clothing and stuff like that. Except she's got all her pants are barely below her bum, and her shirts are wide open. You know, it's a thing. She is funny. You know, it's clearly trying to sell to men. I mean, that's pretty much where it comes from. And I'd imagine most of her audience are trying to do, you know, go on dates and things like that, where it's just a character. You know, she's completely different in real life. Like, totally. It's like these 1920s. There's a stage show that YouTube Shorts decided to send me at one stage, and it was this couple of girls who were dressed up, yes, like Crocodile Dundee, only a woman. That's exactly it. Yes, and there were these Canadian women who were basically dressed up like the 1920s showgirls and stuff like that. Doing this comedy show. And I can't remember who they were. You know, with the... Oh, God. Yeah, it's now going to be impossible to find. But yeah, they actually Bush Barbie. Yeah, that probably sounds about it as well. But yeah, like really attractive ladies, but you know, and talking a certain way with nearly sort of partially high pitched voices and things like that. But it's and when you actually see the girl without all the dress up stuff, you'd walk past her in the street and not even notice her. And And even she said, it's just a character. It's like, she dresses up in something, goes on stage, does her show, comes off stage, pulls it all off, gets into normal clothing, and goes out into the audience, and no one has any idea who she is. Hair colours changed, she's got a wig on and makeup and all the rest of it, and when you see her normally, it's just, oh my God, who are you? So, yeah, it's just marketing, basically. You what? Chance, if you walk past me in the street, I wouldn't recognise you. So, it's... I don't know. It's one of those sort of things. I mean, that's the benefit of being completely, because it chase you going, you yeah, but there's plenty of Australians who do that anyway. So it's nothing unusual really. So I am still here. I'm still here. La 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 la. Right. Sorry about that. Someone tried calling me on my phone. Damn it. Oh, sorry. My thumb was still moving. Sorry. Yeah, no. I copped a phone call. So I hung it up and came straight back in. So yeah. But from the sounds of things, I'm going to need to. Everyone. Well, I mean, it's not like everyone wouldn't recognise me. You look at me. I mean, people have been looking at my stupid face for hours now, which I still don't get. I still can't get over the fact that some of you actually watch me on TV. That's just the weirdest thing in the world. I'm on TV. Isn't that what everyone wants? Finally to go on TV? No. I could just imagine somebody who's got like one of these whopping great big bloody projector things, and they're sitting there in their comfy lounge, with a drink and some snacks, and they're watching me on some bloody 124-inch flaming TV, and I just think you need serious freaking help. Like, honestly. Yeah, look, I mean, okay, look, a cell phone is fine. But, on a 60-inch or 70-inch TV, I feel really bad. I really do. It's just the weirdest thing. Bunker basics. So, yeah, I don't know. It wouldn't work. Go onto Amazon Kindle and just type, we all do, smart TV, got YouTube. My dad loves watching the show. Half the show I share on Telegram. Oh, you're on Telegram too, Wisdom. My nephew and you have a lot of similarities. I apologise to your nephew sincerely. We are all human at the end of the day, and I mean, at some point there's going to be somebody walking around like me. It's just, oh God, I feel so sorry for you. Yeah, so am I, Wisdom. I've been on there for 6-7 years. So, back when it was back in the good old days, when the information was actually good. and now it's just rat shit. It's just everyone shares the same stuff. Oh God, you screenshot it. I'm going to have to start wearing makeup if you guys are starting to screenshot stuff. Yes, I can see Tony. You know, actually doing my hair and the makeup and, you know. Good evening. On tonight's news, we have the following. You know, something which actually looks relatively professional instead of dopey Damien in front of his friggin' phone. Well, I'm pretty sure people are looking over the fence going, what the fuck are you looking at? It's just weird. And then I'm looking at my phone going, I've been talking for 2 hours, 55 minutes and 59, 2 hours, 56 minutes. And I haven't had a drink. And it makes you wonder what the hell I'm talking about. On today's news, water's wet. We bombed Iran. Food expensive. Paul Pelosi was driving around in a brown convertible. I've got a red one. That's the news. Good night. What do you reckon? Good? Ta-da! Yeah, we went actually. We went live together. Good evening. I'm Damien Griffin. And I'm Charles Paladin. And we're here to talk, and you're gonna listen. Dun, 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 dun. 2 men, one technically competent, the other one certainly not. That's what it comes down to. Oh dear, my phone's about to die. Bloody lives, chew up battery power something fiercely. Oh, and I left the lounge room light on. Oh dear. Ooh, dark. It's about to get darker. Yeah, I might finish this live anyway, mate, because my phone's, my phone's actually complaining to me. That's why I've gone and get a power cord. He's going to walk, and you're going to listen to someone else. Well, you guys have a lovely day, and I need to plug my phone in, and maybe we'll go and listen to Adam. Enjoy! Thank you all for joining the news report. See you later.